All over the world, there are demonstrations against the US-led occupation of Iraq. Today, we are carrying a feature to mark the 4th anniversary of Iraq's occupation by US and British, with allies displacing more than 4 million people in their own country as refugees. A very sad state of affairs. In this scenario, we not only look at the sufferings of the Iraqi people, but also bring an unseen trauma of subjugation and emotional torture of the occupying forces' women soldiers. The cascading effects of the war percolating down to one and all that will haunt many a people for generations to come. Global Justice for Peace and Residents Action Movement, RAM, in conjunction with New Zealand Muslims for Peace, organised a peace march in the city of Sales, a peek into the melancholy wilderness that Iraq is known about.
The invasion of Iraq, based on white lies of weapons of mass destruction by the very people who in the past armed Saddam Hussein and instigated him on the course to an 8-year-long war with Iran. Shackling Iraq this week marked its 4th anniversary of occupation. Millions getting killed and displaced, the misery, the pain, the trauma and annihilation at the hands of the occupying forces, evoking strong reactions from all of the quarters from around the world, questioning the veracity of such an action on part of the US and its allies, and crying hoarse, asking for sanity and reason. The Pentagon does not provide a comprehensive accounting of the human toll of the war from the American side, not to mention the larger toll on the Iraqi people. The administration only reports the strictly combat-related fatalities and injuries. Neither injuries nor disease-connected sicknesses nor severe mental illnesses are reported.
I'm standing here as one of the bacteria in the food chain of society and the politics of the world. I'm at the bottom of the rung, doubly impaired in this modern climate by being a woman and by being a Muslim. I am a target. And if these people are so courageous, let them turn their gun on me now. Take me now. Don't call my children to serve in an army and use them for target practice among my sisters in Iran, in Afghanistan, in Gaza Strip, in Sudan, the list goes on. I stand here as a mother because it is our flesh and blood that is splattered as we go about our daily business. And I stand with you, so few, on a day when I read that in the human mouth there are 500 bacteria, so small and so vital to our existence. Let us look deep in the ocean and realize the sharks don't rule the waves. Us little people do. Way in the depth, in the darkness, where the light doesn't seem to shine. This is where the power lies. We feed the sharks, or we refuse to feed them. I choose not to wash my hair with Pantene. I choose not to buy McDonald's. I choose not to shop at Borders. I choose to buy New Zealand made where I can, to live in this community, to strengthen this community, because on the edge of the known world, we have a chance to walk for peace and to show that this range of humanity, we are one species on this planet. We have the opportunity to breed and make children together. And wouldn't we wish that they walk in peace in this world? I have 2 minutes. I'm a woman at the end. The buses need to roll. But you have done a marvelous thing. You have walked in the name of peace. And you walk in the footsteps of Gandhi. You walk in the footsteps of Nelson Mandela. You walk in the footsteps of every hero who said, I am a human being. Save your money for education and health and food and water. We have no interest in this fighting. And to the mothers of US soldiers, my heart aches that your sons and daughters have been fooled into believing they're doing a good thing. The more we can let America know your government is not loved, the more we can reach across this small planet and say, we love you, American people. Let us help you have a democratic government. Thank you.
Cluster bombs are mined in West Papua that students have been killed protesting about, and we're angry and we're really frustrated that the New Zealand government continues to invest in these 12 evil corporations, and we're saying that the New Zealand government must divest now from these corporations, that until they do, we need to commit acts of civil disobedience against the state, against the crown, because these investments are wrong, they need to be stopped.
Not only peace, but tolerance and understanding of all religions and cultures around the world. 1,700 serving military personnel have just signed a petition to Congress. More names are coming in every day from serving military personnel for a US withdrawal from Iraq. That has never happened before. Not even in the Vietnam War days, when a US troop mutiny was the final straw that saw America leave that country.
650,000 civilists were killed so far in the Iraqi occupation. This is not a war against terrorism. This is a war against people. This is a war that is driven by profits and not by any kind of justice.
Only last week, the Israeli forces invaded Nablus, and we have had ongoing deaths and destruction there.
A war that has broken every international human rights law in the book.
Nearly every woman said she'd return home from war a different person. For these particular women, Johnny, Michelle, Ann, Sarah, and Kathy, had felt the full devastation of untreated post-traumatic stress disorder. One had attempted suicide. One had been put into a military psychiatric hospital. One had been to jail for drunk driving. Another had spent years living in almost complete isolation in her apartment. After years of feeling alone with the experiences that had traumatized them, these women were beginning to understand that they were in fact not alone, and that in working with skilled mental health providers, there is a way to get beyond those memories and lead a more fulfilling life. Given that we have deployed more than 160,000 women to war in the last 4 years, it is ever more important that we find ways to take care of them.
George Bush terrorists.
Standing here at the foot of Queen Street now, and the traffic is rolling again. It's so easy to move a party of protesters off the streets. If only it was this easy to move the troops out of Iraq, to move them out of Baghdad, to keep them out of Fallujah, and to take them home. This is how quickly protesters will move. Let the soldiers move with this much ease, this much pleasure. Let our message be heard. And when you hear of a protest in New Zealand, don't fear that this is so political, our lives are in danger. It's only boot leather and our time to let our voice be heard. I don't know that it's up to the governments of the world anyway. It's up to the individuals of this world to join together and work with the government. We can send this message to the American soldiers. We may not be able to send it to George Bush, but his troops will hear us. New Zealand has to think about this, or we have blood on our hands as well. When we have such a strong reputation as peacemakers and peacekeepers, why would we join in the slaughter? And why would we expose our own soldiers to depleted uranium when it is causing such severe damage to the children of those areas? Our soldiers will come back and have their mutant children here, and we will know the price our government paid.
That's right. So what exactly is the message now on this day?
My one is simply, if I am the enemy, shoot me. You don't have to go all around the world to shoot some woman who doesn't understand these issues. She's in the middle of a crisis. She's looking for food for her family. Shoot me.